Hi there, Cam here from Training Tilt. Today I wanted to show you the Training Tilt page builder. And I know a lot of coaches get a little bit frustrated when they're not used to using it. So I wanted to show you some tips and tricks and also some guidelines to follow to make it a bit easier and to also end up with some nice looking website pages. So what I've got in front of me now is what the page builder will look like for an empty page. So what I've got here is a content in the middle, a toolbar on the left here, and all of the existing templates that you can choose from on the right. So these are what we can call blocks of pre-formatted templates. So the best thing that you can do is use the templates as much as possible. And so I want to start by showing you like a mistake that I see almost all the coaches make when they first start using the page builder. So they might drag something over from the left here. So this is how you get it on the page. And then they'll just start typing. And then they'll type. Yeah, so they'll type and they'll just keep typing. And now we can see that the block's getting a bit out of whack. So the idea of the blocks is that the amount of text, let's just get rid of that one again. The amount of text compared to the image within the block or whatever else is in the block is designed to look good on a page. So if you find yourself ending up typing more than fits the height of that image, then the block isn't quite right for what you're trying to type, or that you just need to actually create a new block. So instead of just dragging a block across and then start typing, you probably should plan out your page first. So when you're planning out your page, you think, okay, what am I going to have on the page? What's the intro? What's the body? What's the conclusion, which might normally be like a call to action for the people visiting your site to do something after they've read the page. So let's just get rid of everything in here, start with. And then over on the right here, we can see that we can filter out the blocks based on what we want to do. So let's go start with title and subtitle because we want a page to have a title and a subtitle. So let's drag this title and subtitle across. Yep, so there'll be a title and then you just intro the page here and then that's that block done. So now instead of just keeping typing within the same block, for the next part, we want to drag another block across. So let's go to, let's set this to default, which has got all the default blocks. And let's drag this next block across. So now we've got an image. So now whatever we type in this image shouldn't go over the height of that image there. So we want it to look nice there. So then now we might have something else to say, and that might be another paragraph. So now we can go over here and then go paragraph, and we can see we can choose a paragraph with an image if we want an image, but I'm just going to drag in a paragraph with just text. Then I'm just going to add some more text here. And then I might want to have some cards here. So now this might be a little bit more info about what I'm talking about. So we might have some images here and some text and some buttons. So again, you don't want to type more text than what the block is designed to look good for. So then you want to restrict your text to that size. And then we've got these buttons here, and you can point these buttons to a different place, but I won't cover that too much here. And then, so now I'm planning out my page, remember? So then I might have another paragraph here, and I'll put that, put that paragraph there, and I'll type some more text. Like a paragraph can be quite long. But it's good to use blocks as well, even if for individual paragraphs, because the great thing about that is now we can just duplicate that paragraph and then type it again. And if we just think, oh, I don't want that paragraph anymore, we don't need to edit the same block. We can just go, oh, let's just get rid of that block completely without having to go in and mess around with the blocks that we've already completed. So as you're going through the blocks, you might be like, okay, I'm finished with this block now. This block looks really good. So then you want a new block to start working on. So then you can always go, like save changes now because I'm happy with those blocks up there, and then you can move on. So then you're not going to risk messing up one of the blocks. And then, so say you've got the text and stuff that you want on here, and then you're probably looking at the end of your page, you'll probably want a call to action because you'll be wanting your clients or the visitors to actually do something after this. So then we can select call to action from the filter here, and then we've got a bunch of stuff here. And then maybe this is just like an introductory page to your business or something like that, at which point we could have a couple of buttons. Let's get rid of that one. Let's just say we want them to, after reading this page, go and visit our social platforms. So then we can just edit the links here that point to our Facebook pages, etc. Or you might have a product that you're selling, at which point here you might have some buttons instead where you want them to read more. They could go to another detailed page about something, or this one could be a sign up button, something like that, that points to your sign up pages like that. And there's lots of different formats as well. You could have something with more text and an icon. And then again, another button here. And as you go going along, save your changes as you go so you don't lose anything. So there's the main points for this is use multiple blocks in a page. Don't just drag one block across and then start typing lots of text. Try and plan out your page before you make any changes, and then you drag across the blocks that you think you'll need, and then make the changes and save regularly. So that's the using the blocks. And now I think I'll just move on to some tips and tricks about formatting text. Okay, so I've cleared out the page again now. So the most important thing to think about when formatting your pages is consistency. So you want all your pages to look the same across your entire site. So for example, if you're going to use a title and subtitle block, you should use the same title and subtitle block on all of your pages and not switch between different ones for different pages. So then all your pages will look the same. And the other thing is, although you have options to change the size of the text in the editor here, that can result in a lot of inconsistency on and across your pages. So let's get rid of this again now. Instead of using text sizes, let's drag that back across here. When we're formatting text, and we're doing subtitles, so subtitle 1, and then we have like another paragraph. So one mistake I see is a lot of coaches then they select the subtitle and they use this font size to make it bigger and smaller. So then you end up getting a whole lot of random font sizes. So instead, in a web page, just like in say a Microsoft Word document, you should be using the heading options. So heading 1, heading 2, heading 3, which you start at heading 1, and as you go through the subheadings, you move your way down. And this not only looks good on a page, this is what Google uses to read your document so it understands it. So if you don't have your heading set correctly like this, Google can't read that the text is bigger, so it won't know that it's a subheading. So it won't interpret your page properly, and then in turn you won't get good search results. So that's important. So when you're doing things like this, then the subtitle here should be heading 2, and that automatically changes the size of it based on the styles that are already built into the platform. So that's one tip. Don't use text sizes, just use the headings. So then that's that heading. And then if you were having another heading, so this is another heading, say a third heading, and then a paragraph after it here. And we'll select that and we'll go to the toolbar for the H here, and then we'll go, that's heading 3. And then again, heading 4, get rid of that space. And we'll now go heading 4, which is different again, and then another paragraph. So that's how you get a good looking site with a nice hierarchy, without random font sizes. And yep, so now I will go on to a little bit of more formatting stuff. So particularly two options, which are the two different types of lists. So a lot of times I'll see coaches, they'll go one here, this is list item 1, 2, list item 2, and so on. But instead, there's actually in a website, there's a structured thing around lists. So you just go list item here, and then you would go list item 2, and then you would select the entire items here. And then over here, this is the list options. So the first type of list is a bulleted list. So that will put the list items there. And now when we enter and go, we can go list item 3, list item 4. It's automatically doing the bulleted list for us. And the other list item option is a numbered list. So we'll go over here, which is this 1, 2, 3, 4. And then again, now when you hit enter, it's just going to show you, it's going to automatically put the list there in list item 5. So that's how you do a list instead of actually typing the numbers. And that will be nice and well formatted, not with different spacing and that sort of thing. So next I will go on to uploading images. Images is another thing that can be a little bit tricky. So the first thing you should do when you've got your images that you want to upload to your website is make sure that they're optimized for the web. So most of the times you'll have a very high quality image that's a big file size that although if you could upload it directly using the page builder, it might get pixelated a little bit because we need to resize it. Otherwise, it would blow out the size of your web pages. So before you actually use it, you should use this other tool that I always use called Image Compressor or Optimizer. So if you go to imagecompressor.com and then upload your images that you want to use for the web. So let's go here. So I've got two here that I've stock images that I downloaded, and they're big file sizes. So at the moment, this is 726 kilobytes, and this is 327. So ideally, you want to get your images below 100 kilobytes. So we can see this one's gone down to 99, so that's probably okay. And this one here, if we click on it, is 82. Yep, so that's great. So then let's download both of those, and then when we download them, it actually just appends /min onto them. So that's saying that it's a minified version. Let's go over here. You can see there that the newly downloaded ones has /min on them. So let's just go put that in my demo folder there. So now I've got the min version. So those are the ones that I'm going to use to upload to the website. So let's go back to the page here. So I've got these images here. So now when we want to upload them, what you need to do if you want it to fit the same size as the images here, let's select the one. We want to select this min one. Select it there. So we've got these options here. If you click on these three dots, if we go no crop, it won't resize the image to match the size of the image on the page. But in this situation, because we've got three, let's click away here, because we've got three different images here and they all need to be the same size, and we do want it to crop. But you can also notice that you can zoom in and out of the photo, and then you can actually drag around so it will crop it just to get the bit that you fit if it's not the same size image, which it often isn't. So that's how you get the bit of the image that you really like. You just do the numbers on the legs here, because we haven't checked no crop, it will crop it to fit in that size there. And then, for example, let's do the opposite where it's an image that doesn't need to be cropped. Let's just go here, find an images one. Call to action. Yeah, let's say we've got this call to action here. Because there's only one image, we don't need to crop it because it doesn't need to match up with another one. So then when we do this image, we will upload, say, this one again, the min version. And you see that it's cut into it here. So we can drag it around to get the good bit. But actually I want the whole image here. So then I can click no crop. And then I go okay. And then it's resized the actual size of the image on the page to match the actual image. So that's how you do that. And again, for these rounded images here, so this would be profiles of people. So let's select that one again. And let's select this one of me because it's a profile picture. And this time we want to crop this one. So let's zoom in a bit to make this a little bit more centered and how we like it here. And then we can go okay. And that'll put me in the middle of the circle there. So there you go. That's images. So using the crop and no crop feature to crop the image so it fits the exact size of the image on the web page, and a no crop so you can actually easily change it so it shows the entire image uncropped. So next I am going to just cover some little tips and tricks about a few little funny things that happen in the page builder. One tricky thing you might find if you've been using the platform for a while is if you've got an existing page that you built with the inline editor before the page builder was available, and you've got some specific formatting in it, it's very hard to then try and use the page builder with that page. So it's best to actually start from scratch and do some copying and pasting instead. So first thing you want to do before you do that is you're in the old editor, use the code view, copy the code, and then save it into something like Notepad or text editor and save it somewhere safe so we can always come back to it if we need to. So let's cancel out of the inline editor here and let's open this up in the page builder. So one of the problems with this is that now it's all in one block in the page builder, where it's much easier to use, like I was saying before, if you have multiple blocks. So what we can do is just drag a block across, clear it out, and let's just copy one of these lines at a time. Oops, in the same block. Go into that block there, copy that line in, and copy that line in, and that line into this block. And now we use the header tools like I showed you before, heading 1, heading 2, heading 3, and this is centered, so we can easily do that using the alignment tool here. Center that. Right, now as we go, we'll just get rid of that because we know we've edited that already. So now we want to add another block for the paragraph, and let's paste this in like that, and let's hold that, and then this is a quote, so we can have that in italics like that. Now let's drag another block across, get rid of this because now we've done that, and copy that, paste that in. You see what happened there? Sometimes that happens where the font looks a lot bigger than it should. If you just click on the code editor and click OK again, it goes back to how it should. That's another little trick that should stop you getting confused. And then Everfit there, bold that. So now we've done that. Let's get rid of that. And then this bit here, get in touch. So for this one, I would actually use a call to action. This sort of relies on the visitor of the site now figuring out how they need to get in touch with you. So instead, I would choose get one of the calls to action here, and then maybe use something like this instead. And I might actually, rather than use that one, got the button there still, which is good. I would use the title and subtitles and drag that one across so the formatting's the same. And this I would center for a call to action. Center that. I would say I'd make that get in touch. I would make that heading 2 because there should only be heading 1 on a page. And then we can copy that there, paste that in there, make that bold, and then we've got this button here and we can edit that where we might say get in touch today. Make it more specific. We want them to get in touch as soon as possible. Edit link, and we can point that to our built-in contact page on Training Tilt. So then they can just click the button and they'll see the details, or they can send you a message via that. So now we can get rid of this. And you'll see, again, this has gone a little bit funny in the page builder. The text is over here. For this, I wouldn't have, this image is probably a little bit too tall to have as a full width image on a page. So I would use something a little bit smaller, something like this here, like this. And then I would, to use this image, I would save that image as, save it there, and then I would upload it here from downloads. There it is there. And I would use the no crop option because I want to show this full image. I don't want it to crop like that. And then it's just a little bit smaller, and copy that text. In there, and I might even have a bit of a title here, and I'd probably have a little bit more text in here to describe what's going on here. Perfect sunrise session, something like that, and I'd probably make that's probably an H3 third level, and yeah, probably a little bit more text in there. And you could actually put the call to action in here anyway. So now we've got this bit all broken up into nice little blocks so you can manage one thing at a time. I added the call to action. I made that image a bit smaller. And then now we've used this block here, so we can actually remove that whole block. And then we can save this and reload this page. Now we can see that it's formatted slightly differently. So we'll see now this text is actually lighter than it was previously because that page had been edited using colors and different fonts, I think. So if you want a different style to what is the default here, instead of actually having to do those changes individually on each page by setting the font color, you can just let us know that you would prefer a different font color or different weights or different sizes of text, and we can actually set up a little style sheet for you which manages all that separately, centrally, which means you just need to build your page like I just built that page without having to worry about changing the font size or the color, and it will just be applied automatically over the site. So if you want that sort of customization, just let us know like what colors you want to use, what font sizes you want to use. We can set that up for you, and then the management of your pages will be much easier. So yeah, I hope that helps. If you have any specific issues you're struggling with the page builder, let me know and I'll do a video specifically for you for that. But otherwise, thanks for watching, and I'll talk to you again tomorrow.